You and you, all of you, everywhere. You and you and you and you and you. You're free. You are free. You. You. And I'm not wrong. I'm not wrong. You are free. It's beautiful. It's so nice. It really is nice. So, Sunday night, I guess. Early Monday morning, yes. But we'll call it Sunday night. Going into the new week. Okay. We'll talk about a few things. There's, yeah. Yeah. Good. Yes. Mm-hmm. I see. Okay, I don't know if any of y'all grew up hearing this, but this is a quick little song from my youth. Uh, all of you have probably heard it in one way, shape, or form. And I think it sets the table for what we're going to talk about tonight. Okay. So it's not just goofy. Here you go. It is goofy, though. Well, ain't that nice? On with the show. This is it. On with the show. What's up, Johnny O? They were the best cartoons. You are not wrong, my friend. You were not wrong. Robert Nizawa, Malikliki Maka. That's actually the wrong time of year, but what's up, my brother? Oh, is Headless here? I missed you, Headless. It's nice to see you too. All right. Pardon me. So there's been like all right, over the course of the last, let's just say 3-4 days, something like that. Everything's kind of been stagnant in the swamp. All right. Everything's just kind of like settled and everything's just kind of swirling around and kind of doing its thing. And there's not a whole lot of stuff gravitating, except everything is starting to push into what we're looking at for this week. On with the show. This is it. This is the week that either Nancy Pelosi will deliver the articles of impeachment to the Senate, or she will shut up. Either way, it's this week. There has been rumor that she will deliver one article of impeachment of the two. This will backfire drastically. Honestly, I don't know if this is an early birthday present for me coming up, but the deep state does not have too many plays left. in public perception. At least not to the majority. They sure don't. The majority of people haven't figured out. They still have the mainstream television at their whim, and they know that those numbers are dwindling down to nothing. They're down to nothing. I'm hearing of people that are jumping ship all the time, jumping from a Democrat to a Republican. They're jumping from a Democrat to President Trump, who really represents so much more than the Republican Party. Because which one of us could stand behind the Republican Party in every decision they've made and say it's great over history? They've done a lot. They are the voice of reason on so many levels. But people are jumping ship to be pro-Trump, not pro-Republican. And I think that's great. I think he's a great shakeup for what we've been looking at. Hey, Linda. A great informer. That's interesting. Great informer. What the deep state is doing now is tightening their grip on the states. And just say in counties, they have a stranglehold on. Interesting. Their grip on the states and the counties, they have a stranglehold on. Yeah, they are trying to infiltrate within those counties. You are seeing this. Yep. There's no reason that seems good that we could have let Hillary Clinton get into office to go another 8 years under the foundation. Because what's the key to a great building is the foundation. Well, guess what? Barack Obama, don't even want to go there with him, but for the agenda they were laying out, he laid out a nice foundation. Great foundation for her to take a leap off of and just take us into the next realm of the demise of our country, which would have happened. There's no question. It would have happened. Patriots struck when they needed to. And that was perfect timing, and it was the perfect candidate. Well, we've seen where all of this has brought them to, right? You guys understand, I know you do, that the Great Awakening, I know you understand this, but that the Great Awakening, this is for all the people that watch this later in life, in a year or 3 or 5 from now. This is for you guys, not for the people that are hearing me now. But you have to understand that the Great Awakening in the Q drops was an effort to not only let us who are awake be topped off in what we feel like we know, but it's really your indoctrination. The Great Awakening is about the indoctrination of truth within to mainstream culture. And these are things that can't be rushed. These are the reasons that when Trump took the presidency and spoke about Hillary Clinton being arrested, and actually she should be arrested, and all of this, you know what? That set the bar very high for those that have very hot blood in them, who say, hey, he got elected, how come he's not arresting them? Well, my American-loving, simpleton Americans that want to see that, I love you. And not only do I love you, I empathize with you, because I too was one that sat and waited, and I waited longer than a lot and said to myself, why is this not happening? But it was really through the message of the proofs of the Q drops. It was only through those proofs that I could allow myself to sit back and say, you know what, dude, you don't know everything. I know you think you're a bright guy, but you're not. You are in a lot of ways, but you're not. You don't understand this plan. You don't get it. You don't understand it all. To which I say yes. Because if that weren't the case, somebody like me would be running the planet. And I think we can all agree that'd be bad for everybody. But either way, there are very, very intelligent individuals who are operating within their life the same as we are. It all really comes down to like upbringing, and you are a product of your environment. And occasionally people break out of their environment and they go on to do massive, awesome things. And I think the people that broke out of their environment and went on to do massive, awesome things are in the highest forms of our government right now. I think that's cool. I think they've given us no reason to not believe that we are, in fact, watching a movie. We are, in fact, watching the systematic destruction of the old guard, of the guard that took out JFK, of the guard that tried to take out Ronald Reagan. America was free. It was built on capitalism. But believe me, the wheels of capitalism under the bad power of bad intentions has a lot of pull. And we've watched that. And we've seen what happens when their entire existence is at risk. There's no level they won't go to. The Patriots knew this. I know every time that things get quiet like they've been, everybody's cool. Everybody's relaxed. Everything is calmed down in Iran. They don't know what to do in the mainstream television. They have no clue what to do with it. While Fox News, late at night, pounds out the facts, the truth. And those are things that are waking up people. Every one of these things moving forward in these small shows of truth, you're going to feel like it's not moving fast enough. You're going to feel like, man, I already knew this. I knew this. Listen, what we're witnessing now on mainstream television is a best case scenario because there's not an uprising to the point where people are shedding blood. But what it is that it's an awakening. You have to keep in mind that these people are not awake and they don't know what you know. They certainly are processing it the same way that you processed your spoonfuls of truth as you brought yourself to this level of awakening. These people are just starting in some cases to go through it. They have to go through it. We did. That's why things are moving slowly right now. I hear fantastic, phenomenal patriots like Dave from Inglorious Patriots. I hear him. Listen, he is a patriot and he loves his country, but he says things like, if, Trump does this or that we have to act now and that kind of, listen, you can't get wrapped up in that we have to act now. If the Great Awakening and the Plan by Q is what we think it actually is, there's not any one of you that's ever going to need to even pick up a rifle or a pistol if it goes the right way. We've been told that mathematically and statistically it's impossible for it not to be what it is. So be prepared. Yes, you should. If you want a pistol, should you have a loaded clip somewhere safe next to the pistol? Yes, it's always a good idea. But if you think you're going to have a Mexican standoff and have to shoot your way out of your house, fortunately, that part of the plan has gone in the past. It's just a statistic of the mathematics of what the plan could be. That's off the table. At least it is for everybody, with the exception of Virginia right now. Virginia, yeah, they got a little different situation going, but make no mistake, everybody is watching Virginia. Patriots are in control of what's going on. Optics are important, things we've been told. We've been told this. Optics are important. Don't brush that off. So many times we take the information, we process it, we spew it, we talk about it, we let it go. Continuously, we've been told optics are important and to trust the plan. Everybody will be watching Virginia. And everybody, well, maybe not everybody, but the people that are watching what's going on in Virginia, I'll guarantee, care about rights, especially the Second Amendment rights. That's the right that allows you to carry and keep your weapon, to have a weapon, to have a means of defense. It's your Second Amendment right to own a firearm. If you're not following what's going on in Virginia, I guess I could just break it to you real quick and just say that they're talking about implementing gun rules that are going to basically take every type of weapon out of every Virginians. What do you call them there? Virginians. They're not virgins. But the law is going to take out basically every type of personal firearm and rifle or shotgun that you could possibly have in Virginia. The people aren't having it, nor should they. That's a tinderbox. People are watching. Now, we'll see if they try to set something off, right? We'll see. All right. Let's see what else is going on. I see the name Scotty. Is Scotty in the house? What's up, Scotty? Boy, that's wonderful, Wallace. Growing with Wally. California is now giving free health care to elder illegals. Last year, it was the illegal kids. Yeah. Well, I'm all for helping people that are sick. Let's get them help. But if they came here illegally, let's get them help to get home. Oh wow, that's great. Great informer. That's great. He heard they're hiring thousands of new ICE agents. That's right, Robert. Get them healthy, send them home. Everybody's got to get real about why the fact that they are coming through in the numbers they were and are. I mean, everybody wants to turn this into a humanitarian effort. Listen, these people were paid to leave their third world country to come enter the gates of America. It was all perpetuated onto them. There's a lot of bad people that join the ranks when these things try to come across and enter. Okay. There's just no doubt. There are good people. There are. But a lot of these people were paid money to make this track across Mexico and continue to, and did in the past, really. All of them had cell phones. They were wearing new gear. Man, I think of what a refugee should look like. It should look like Tom Hanks on Castaway when he throws that spear from like 30 feet away and he's like spears a fish. And he's wearing a loincloth. You ain't sporting new hip hop gear with your phone. Waiting, it's just ridiculous. The level of just stupidity. And honestly, CNN, their numbers are fake. I mean, I really can't imagine that anybody that's worth anything could be listening to CNN who's not a part of the deep state. I would almost say that all their ratings plus 5% come from people that listen, because why? Why? Can they be this delusional in everything that they do? Yeah, I guess. But I sure don't understand it at all. Yeah, that guy's not any good. Great informer. And though he is a large cog in the cog of all the bullshit, he still simply is just a piece within the Jenga tower of the deep state. Although, be it a big piece. You know, their greatest fear, what have we been told? Their greatest fear is the public being awake. Happy New Year, deep state. The public's awake. And the boldness, really, of the Patriots, allowing them to just expose themselves in front of everybody, only proves how much the Patriots are in control. It only proves how much you are, in fact, watching a movie. There are small things that go either way. But those are just things that are fluid within the plan. Guys, it's in the right place. It's right where it's supposed to be right now, right at this time, right down to me talking about it this way. This plan is right where it is supposed to be. Your job, should you choose to accept it, is to trust the plan. Just like me. We get to watch this from a 50,000 foot aerial view and watch how it's all coming together, how we've been told. Remember in the past, I always spoke about you have to step back and look at it from a 50,000 aerial foot view to like see the plan coming together. Well, now we hover up there, we see the whole plan. And the great part of the plan is the part where we start to see people and factions and pockets that are waking up within the plan that we're observing and watching them come in the fray. They're coming in the fray. They're coming in. They're coming in by the multiple thousands per day. I mean, that's a lot per day. And he already had the majority. It's big. You guys, it's big. What we're watching is big. It's bigger than anything we have been taught to show us how big something has been in life. It's bigger than anything ever that's ever been recorded in newspapers or print or video or live feeds, any of that. What we are watching is that big. And we're very much on the cusp of watching it all just lock into place. All the pieces of this plan are hovering above where they're supposed to be. And it's like there's going to be a, and everything's going to go like, and just lock into place. And it's like, done. Checkmate. Checkmate. mate. I don't know for time frame what that means, but it feels soon. It feels so soon. I almost feel like the Democrat Party has to completely implode before we get to the next election. And I think they've set themselves up to go down disastrously in flames because so many people are awake. They look hideous. They look ridiculous. The only, and I mean only thing they have going for them in any way at all is the corrupt mainstream television stations. Without them, their voices would be even smaller than they are to all of us now. And the fantastic news is that every day their numbers get less and less. They're dying. Everybody within this Great Awakening and plan, to the most part, has placed their bets. They've hedged their bets. They've decided who they're going to go with, who they're going to roll with. And I think that's probably been going on for quite some time, to tell you the truth. But because of the pure scope of how huge this is, you're seeing more and more people being gathered in that are going to have to make deals, and more and more and more and more, where it was 1, 2, we'll pick off one here, we'll pick off one there. Yeah, they're turning, they're blah, blah, blah. It's getting to the point, guys, where they cannot argue. Their arguments against what they're being accused of is futile because they have nothing to back up what they're saying, nor have they. Quite honestly, I can't believe people just don't shred them when they see them in public. Because think about the narrative that we've all been fed and we've known to be bullshit. But think about the mainstream people out there that have been paying attention to this and listening and saying Trump's this, Trump's that. Forget about Trump. Just look at all the lies that you've been told by the mainstream left. Insert any candidate. I don't care. Put Barack Obama in there. If that helps your brain, put Barack Obama in there over the last 2 years, and then think about all the things that have been slandered against him that have been shown and proven to be false, but yet the other side of the coin won't leave it alone. And they keep hammering the fact and say, fuck that. It's not true. He's a criminal. You know, y'all hate that. The problem is that we're living in reality. I can't just make that assessment and say you have to think about it as Barack Obama. Why? Because we're all grown up. It's time for you to grow up. We're all grown-ups. The facts are clear. The information is abundant. The longer you continue to sit here and just hate Trump more than you like truth, and it really shouldn't have anything to do with Trump, think about what he's protecting everybody from. You should hate the absolute evil corruption that he's bringing down. And the mere fact that you can't, it is just a proof of how asleep you are. And that's okay. Nobody's shitting on you because you're asleep. But you have to wake up. You have to take the red pill. One day you have to take it. Because it's coming like a freight train. Let go of what you've been taught. Listen to what these people from the left and of the deep state are being charged with. Listen to it. People discount it and say they confuse it with a movie. They confuse it with a movie. With any number of movies or any of the other things or all the video games or any of the shit that's rolling in their head. And they can't process it. And that's by design. We're going to fill them so much up. We're just going to dull all their senses. We're going to desensitize them in their brain, in their spirituality. We're going to desensitize them so that when truth gets exposed, they can't decipher it. Thank God things went down when they went down and how they went down, and that Trump is the president. Thank God humanity had not lost their mind completely. I think we got a real shot at this. I know the Patriots would probably make it happen regardless, but I think there's a real shot at this really going off in the coolest type of way, that you could foil the coup attempt against your presidency, which is clean, just like beautiful, clean coal. Clean. But for him to pull this off, and for his team, because it's not him, not completely, for them to pull this off in the manner in which it looks like they're pulling this off, it's pretty damn huge. It will be in how you granditize, whatever, how you think about the Roaring '20s, or you think about the sailor kissing the dame on the cover of Time and the ticker tape parade at the end of World War II, however you categorize that in your mind, big events, things that change the world, any of that, what we're going through is bigger than all of that. And the reason I say that is not because the sacrifice is bigger. It's because all of those wars that we got into, including World War II, were under false pretenses. Now, the American fighter, the American heart was there. It's red, white, and blue, and everybody that was everybody in America tried to get in the armed services, and a lot underage. I have stories about that, and I'll spare you. But the point is that every war we've been in has been under very suspect arrangements. And we've got a guy that's taking us out of every war. I think it's important that we get behind him. Can you honestly believe that after everything that happened in Iran, people started talking about there being a draft? That's not what's going to happen in the future. That's just not in the cards. That's right, Great Informer. That's when they came up with the League of Nations, Treaty of Versailles, which ultimately turned into the EU. Or, yeah, I think that's right. The United Nations after World War II. Everything they did to try to turn the country into socialism failed. People were awake. They didn't stand for Marxism. They didn't stand for socialism, which went from the Fabian socialists into the progressive socialists. You remember it all. I know you do. We're at a very unique point in the history of mankind right now. We are. We have the benefit. See, I make jokes and know my history. Yeah, you do. You do. That is, and I appreciate it. Great Informer. We're at a unique point in history right now. We honestly, in my opinion, are probably at like the biggest point in history. when this, it's already boomeranged, but when this goes and we get through the next 4 years and the draining of the swamp is complete, it's a whole new future. And maybe people that are in middle class won't feel a drastic shift or anything like that. It doesn't matter. I mean, if your only view in life is what's in your backyard, my backyard looks pretty good. People are employed and have been. My community, my area, probably would have been one of the last ones as America just dissolved in front of us. Would have been one of the last ones hanging on for a while. So we never really quite care until it affects us, right? By the time people where I live would have realized what was going on as a whole, it'd have been way too late. Way too late. So maybe those in those types of cities where they had, some manufacturing, that kind of stuff, don't feel the gains or the losses that you're ever going to feel through the Trump presidency. Maybe it'll get just a little bit better for you. But the real beautiful thing is that it's the gains for the people that never had it to begin with. And that's jobs. And when your jobs are cooking, your economy's cooking. And we're talking capitalism. Let's get the train going, man. I mean, we're all here for a reason. What do you believe? You were just born here and you got to pray to God? Do you think you're a fallen angel? I don't know what you believe, but no matter what, we have an instinct within us to let's get shit going. All right. Feels good to pray to God. Feels good to forgive man. I feel like George Bush Jr. Feels good to pray to God and forgive mankind. Something I like to do, especially when we're out in the Middle East. But it's good. It's why does being bad feel bad and why does being good feel good? It always feels better to be good, right? When you do something bad or something shitty, you know it like immediately. Within minutes, maybe seconds, but maybe days. You know it. When you're shitty, you know when you're in the wrong shitty, you know when you're in the right. And okay, being in the right and you don't have a jelly bag, you have a voice, right? You have a voice. But we know when we push it too far. Okay, that's divine. Everybody has that switch in them. Everybody switch is at different levels. Sometimes people never find their switch. There's your Ted Bundys, Jeffrey Dahmers, the overwhelming majority have a switch and want to be good. It feels better to be good. Does it not? Does it not feel great to be good? I'm not talking about being overbearing. I'm not talking about every time you see a homeless person, you go up and stick $5 in their pocket. I'm not talking about any of that. You don't have to do any of that to feel good. If you want to, great. But it feels better to be good than to be bad. I don't know, food stamp, probably everything. I'd rather be good at everything than to be bad at anything. How about you? That's what they say, food stamp. The devil was a fallen angel. That's what it says. That's right. All I know is being good feels good. When I feel bad, I want to take a nap. I want to check out of reality for a minute and take a snooze. Yeah, I suppose that's true. Robert Wallace growing with Wale. Everybody has God and the devil in them. Just which one you gonna listen to, like the cartoons? So, and it's great to see you guys in the chat. I appreciate it. So, what I really want to come on and talk about tonight, I want to talk about trusting in the plan. I guess that's the point I'm trying to drive home. Things feel weird. People are talking. People are talking about Huber already coming through and releasing his findings and not finding Clinton guilty of anything. And she comes out and tweets. And you know what? That's panic. There's no truth to the story. Huber's investigation is still ongoing. That's them coming out, not having a clue which way the direction of the plan is going. They have no clue. None. So they're just trying to come up with offense. Blah, 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 blah. Well, you know what? Huber's investigation doesn't cover all the things that are criminal. So maybe they think the criminal side it doesn't matter. There's multiple investigations. There's stealth bombers that were implemented. This plan is bigger and greater than you can possibly imagine, any of us. There's multiple investigations beyond John Durham going, beyond A.G. Barr, beyond Huber. And the whole reason that there's multiple investigations beyond those is because what they're going to do is they're going to stop the slander of the people that are publicly showing the investigations and what they're going to divulge. All of these truths that have been coming on the deep state into the psyche of the American people have been washing on them like waves. Washings of truth, all of it. Because the plan is inherently good. And if you believe that the plan is good, then you can decipher bullshit from reality. You just simply know. And the more that you are into it, like the easier it becomes to see who's full of shit and who's telling the truth. And as you learn the truth, you can even pluck these buzzards out earlier and earlier by the words that come out of their mouth. It's almost like them. Did you hear what happened to that representative from Michigan over in the Southern District of Lansing? Came out to talk about why she was going to justify the and vote for the impeachment. People came out and were screaming at her and screaming at her. Why? Why did they? People are fed up. And it wasn't just her. It was a lot of places. And guess what? That voice is not going to get quieter. The more people start to feel threatened, the more desperate the deep state gets and tries to impeach Trump or take him out of office. The more that happens, the louder that these voices are going to get. Keep in mind, Trump and Q And the Patriots only get one shot at this. One. No, there's no do-overs at all. This is 100% play for keeps, plan, and operation. They are not going to allow themselves to step into petty mistakes. When people ask for arrests, when they want to ask why not now, when people come out and say, this is bullshit, we're doing this, keep in mind, they get one shot. So when I say that you are watching a movie and that the future proves past, you should have everything in your arsenal, at least in your own self-fortitude, to say, you know what, I think I know enough that I believe what they're telling me. And it's not a movie. It's reality. And this is real. It's as real as it gets, you guys. It may be the most real thing you ever feel in your life outside of your personal connections, but this is very real and just very much in the open right now. It is the 12,000-pound gorilla in the middle of the room in the United States, where the mainstream media just will not question any of the things that have been exposed, just won't even touch them. This is a gigantic balloon just waiting to just not even pop. It just needs a little fragment of something to come land on it because it's just so blown up to the point where and the funny part is that everybody knows it, even the Democrats. They know this gigantic gorilla balloon is in the middle of the room. The Patriots got them so dead to rights. They don't know how to be any other way than behind their movement, which they know is just ridiculous. They know it's ridiculous. They know it. They know it's a show. They know they're putting it on for the American people. They know it's a freaking show. But they're fighting for their lives and their reputations. And I suppose there's some honor in fighting for what you believe, even if you worship the devil and you're a shit individual. I suppose there's honor in you at least standing up for something you believe in, even if you do, kill people because of it. But nonetheless, with defeat, you also reap the spoils of defeat. And that's, I think, the fun part about being awake is we're about to see it. About to see it. It's going to go down. It's coming soon. I think it's going to be amazing, you guys. So the lack of information right now, everything going on with Q or not going on with Q or any of the things, it's all by design. Let it play out. Let it play out. Let it just saturate out there. All the work you've done talking to individuals outside of mainstream the internet, all these different vehicles we have to talk to people, anything you've done on the outside of being online, these things are starting to pay off too right now for you in spades. The reason I know is that there's a couple very personal people that I love. And one of them told me very recently under their breath that I think I'm a Republican. And that just told me what they're going to vote for Trump. I didn't ask for that. I didn't ask for an answer. It just came up out of the blue. Like, hey, the seed you planted, it rooted. And right at this point in time, out of the blue, I just want to tell you that I think I'm a Republican now. These things are probably happening in your life, even if you're not aware of them. The Great Awakening, the plan has not disappointed. It has your back. It has all of our backs. The Great Awakening and the Great Plan has all of our backs. The information is good, and it's coming out now. Really, the only people that can't accept what's going on right now are people that are like just actually possibly insane. And if the definition of insanity is being too wrapped up into video games or into different facets of your life to research anything of the truth, then I would say you're still insane. I would say you're insane. You have no interest in humanity and in how life works. I would call that insane. Other than that, I think everybody gets it. To the point that it's not just America. The rest of the world is waiting for America to understand Q. The rest of the world has been on board with Q since probably like the second or third month and said, you know what, that information is real. We know what's up. It's you Americans. And maybe that's a, overbroad way to put it. But honestly, the Europeans and really every culture, with the exception of maybe China, just knows that the American people are just fed the bullshit of mainstream television and newspapers. It's how it's been forever. With capitalism comes, I don't know, I guess a power structure for the news that gets out. And that's why these mainstream television companies and newspapers are all bought out. Those who write the news are the winners. Except now. They're not anymore. God bless you all. Thank you for coming tonight. I just needed to get on and blow some steam. I think I did it. And I appreciate you all very much. Let's see what happens this week. Got a lot going on with the impeachment, right? A lot going on. Will she deliver them? Won't she? Says she will. I don't think she's going to. Just between you and me, I don't think she's going to bring the articles of impeachment to the Senate. It opens up a whole caveat of other just terrible things that could go against the Democrat Party. I say sure the articles of impeachment, even though she said she would. If she does, oh well. I kind of feel like I still win. Because then they'll take them under advisement. So I love you guys. You guys be cool. Always stay cool. Don't forget to pray. Prayer's good. Prayer's good. The older I get, the simpler I get. And I believe in God. And I believe in praying to him. It or thou. And I think thou likes that. Yeah. So do that. Okay.